Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Anu and I make videos about studying in the UK, and I've also started making videos about working in the UK. So if any of that interests you, make sure you subscribe to my channel and watch my videos. I'm pretty sure you're going to find them very helpful. And as you can see from the title of this video, I'm going to talk about the publishing industry in the UK. So just to give you a bit of a background, if you didn't already know, I have done my master's in publishing from the University of Exeter. Currently, I do have a job in publishing. I work as a marketing assistant. I do get a lot of questions from people who want to join the publishing industry, so I'm pretty much aware that there's a large number of people interested in this industry. So I thought it's worth making this video just to give you a detailed insight of what the industry is like. So for the sake of this video, I have made a bunch of questions which I think is quite relevant and what you might want to know about the industry. And these are questions that I had before joining the industry while I was still doing my master's. So the first question is the MA publishing course worth it, or is it necessary for the job? This is something I always had in mind because I have done my bachelor's in English literature, and for my master's I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. I could either go for a master's in English literature, which was the most common option. I also knew that I wanted to join the publishing industry. So for me, my motivation to do the MA publishing course was to do a course that would help me gain knowledge directly about the industry, if that makes sense. But that does not mean that if you do some other course, you will not be given preference while job selection. So I do know someone who works in the publishing industry back in India. So she told me in the job selection process, it always helps if you do a course that is directly related to the industry than something that is random. Basically what that means is that if somebody who has done an MA publishing course applies and somebody who has done an MA in English course applies, between the two, there are more chances that the person with the MA publishing course would be given preference in the job selection process, just because that person is more familiar with the industry and has done a course that is specifically related to the industry. But of course, that does not mean that people from other backgrounds don't get selected. They of course do. In my workplace, there are people from all kinds of backgrounds. I know people who have done courses in digital marketing, or those who have done masters in creative writing. It was not really a difficult choice for me because I was pretty sure I wanted to become a part of the publishing industry. So I was like, let's just do the MA publishing course. If you're not sure if joining the publishing industry is one of the options among many, it makes sense to do a general course like English so that you have a lot of options open from job perspective. But if you want to do specifically anything in publishing, the MA publishing course is definitely worth it. The next question is it hard to get into the UK publishing industry as an international student? In my opinion, I think it is difficult. It's not very easy, but I'm saying that from the perspective that the job market in UK at the moment is not very good. So it's not only the publishing industry that I'm talking about, but jobs in general. It's a bit of a problem at the moment. With the new government, things might change. I don't know, but right now it's not that easy, but it's not impossible as well. I have a job. I got the job. I have friends who got jobs in the publishing industry, so it's definitely not impossible. And yeah, that's my answer. Next question is, do you need work experience to get a job in the UK publishing industry? I think this depends on the kind of role you're applying for. When I was applying for jobs, I was looking for entry-level roles because I did not have any work experience prior to this. I literally have just done my undergrad and then I did my master's and then I was looking for jobs. So For an entry-level job role, you do not need any work experience. Next question is how to enhance your CV for a publishing related job. It really helps if you've done some publishing related internship. It could be, creative writing or some sort of copywriting for some organization, or just any sort of internship that is relevant to publishing. I think that really enhances your CV. Other than that, I think doing online courses really helps. Of course, it helps you develop a skill, but it also tells the recruiter that you are genuinely interested in this field, which is why you have taken that extra step to do something more and to learn something new. And one final point is that if you're doing the MA publishing course, most universities offer a module that allows you to gain some work experience. It's part of the course. So for me, for example, I had to do a module where I had to work with any sort of publishing company, and just kind of gain that experience. And I think this also enhances the CV significantly. Like, it makes a huge difference if you're able to include something like that in your CV. Also, if you want to know a bit more about what I did in my MA publishing course, I have made a video about that. You'll find the link to it somewhere over here and also in the description box, so you can go and check that out. It gives you complete detail of what the course is at Exeter, and I think it might help you make a decision if you want to do that course or not. Next question is what helped my application process. One thing that I always did was I was very consistent in the application process. I would send out, I think, two or three applications on a daily basis, if not more, minimum 2 or 3. So I think that consistency matters, because it can always be very demoralizing when you get rejection emails and you don't get replies from recruiters. It's always very discouraging, but it's important to stay focused and keep applying. Even if you do not get calls for interviews, even if you get rejections, it's important to not lose that faith and keep applying. So I think that's the most important step. And another thing that really helped me in job application is creating a CV that is ATS friendly. Just to give you a bit of a background, I did an internship with a company where I had to create CVs for other people, for the clients, and during that process I learned a lot about ATS friendly CVs, which I think is very important that you should know in the job market today if you're applying for jobs. And other than that, my university also held workshops where I learned a lot about writing CVs in a manner that people in the UK, recruiters in the UK prefer. The format or the writing style, all of that matters. So I have created a video specifically about CV writing. If you want to check that out, again, you'll find the links somewhere on the top and also in the description box, so go and check that out. And the final question is interview tips. So I'll tell you exactly what I did for my interview, and it worked, so it might help you as well. The first step, what I did was I prepared interview questions by myself. So I kind of put myself in the shoes of the recruiter, and I thought about the questions that they might want to ask me. So I was like, okay, if I'm the recruiter, what would I want to know about this person? So I made a list of those questions. And I think it also helps if you go to like an AI website, something like ChatGPT, and ask for questions for that specific role. That also gives you a bunch of really helpful questions. So I made a list of all the questions, but that's not it. I sat down and I made notes of the answers, because when you have all of these questions, it's natural for you to just have a look at these questions and feel like, okay, I know the answer to this, I know the answer to the next one. But when you actually start to write it down, that's when you realize that maybe you don't know enough and maybe you need to think more about this. So at least that's what happened with me. So I think just sitting down and thinking about the answers and writing them down really helped me, gather my thoughts, and it really helped me in the interview process. And another tip for the interview is always be true to yourself, be true to your personality. Don't try to impersonate somebody else. Like, show the recruiter that you are unique and you are you, and that's why they should hire you, if that makes sense. But yeah, I think these two are very important tips. So that's it for this video. I hope you find this video helpful and I hope it answers some of your questions. If you have any more questions, feel free to comment them down below and I'll definitely get back. Yeah, once again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys again very soon. Goodbye.